What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So I've been meaning to make this video. I've just been really busy. So Bomac, whose real name is Bomac McIntyre, has been arrested for gun possession and I believe another charge as well. And Bomac is from the United States. He got arrested in the UK and has been remanded in custody in the UK until his next court hearing, which is in October. So a brief summary of what happened. Bomac McIntyre, also known as Bomac, he came from the US. He came to the UK to train Chris Eubank Jr. and he also was in Chris Eubank Jr.'s corner for the rematch against Liam Smith, which Chris Eubank Jr. got the win. Bomac was travelling back to the United States when the UK security found a gun, I believe, in his luggage, and apparently that was fully loaded. So the UK police, UK armed police, went and arrested Bomac, and Bomac was questioned by police, appeared before magistrates court, remanded into custody until his next hearing in the Crown Court in October. So that is a brief summary. That is a brief summary of what happened. Now, my take on it. So essentially, for those who are from the United States who may not know this, because obviously the laws in the UK are going to be different from the laws in the United States. So when someone's charged, or when someone gets arrested for a alleged offence in the UK, they'll be questioned by police, and usually they will be bailed, given bail at the police station, or not given bail at the police station. Then they'll either get charged or not charged, and if they are charged, they will have to appear at a magistrate's court. Now, if the alleged offence is deemed not serious, then the case will be heard at the magistrate's court. So the person will plead guilty or not guilty at the magistrate's court, and if they plead guilty, they'll be sentenced at the magistrate's court. If they plead not guilty, then the trial will take place at the magistrate's court. Now, if the offence is deemed serious, then their case will be heard at the Crown Court. If the offence is deemed as serious, the case will go to the Crown Court, and they will plead guilty or not guilty at the Crown Court. And then if they plead guilty, they'll be sentenced at the Crown Court. And if they plead not guilty, then their trial will be heard at the Crown Court. So the most serious offences get heard at the Crown Court. All offences start at magistrate's court, but if it gets to when it gets to the magistrate's court, if the magistrate's court decides it's a serious offence, then the case gets referred to the Crown Court, which is what happened in this instance here. So Bomac went to the magistrate's court, they heard the case, they decided this is a Crown Court matter, and they referred it to the Crown Court. So with regards to this case, what are my thoughts on it? My thoughts on the case are we don't know enough about it. So far we don't know enough about it. It's really dubious how that gun got into the United Kingdom from, like, I don't know, that's the first question. Did that gun come into the United Kingdom, and then, did that gun come into the United Kingdom from the US? Because I heard he travelled private to the UK from the US, and then is now and then he travelled back commercially. So did Bomac take that gun? Is that gun Bomac's from the US? And if so, how did he get it through customs in the US and the UK, traveling when he traveled to the UK initially? The next thing that's a bit dubious is, if he didn't bring that gun with him, then did he purchase it in the UK? There are so many things. There's also the possibility that he just didn't know. Like, he just didn't know that the UK don't allow guns. Or the UK do allow guns, but you've got to get a certificate from the police to have one. So I don't know if it's just ignorance of. So most people in the UK don't have guns. Simple. Most people in the UK don't have guns. Um, Most police don't have guns. There's an armed police specialist unit, but apart from that, most police don't have guns. Most citizens don't have guns. Most police don't have guns. You can get a gun, but you need a certificate from the police to get a gun in the UK. Um, so, is it just ignorance on the part of Bomac? I don't know. Um, there's so much, there's so many unanswered questions. There's more questions than answers. I hear a lot of people saying it was a setup. The fact is, unless you're part of the setup, or unless you're in Bomac's team, you don't know what it is. But what I can say is that Bomac, he's currently remanded in custody. He didn't get bail. If he was going to get bail, it would have been most likely at the police station, or the magistrates could have remanded him on bail, but they didn't. My guess is that because Bomac is a foreign national, I believe that's possibly a reason why he's not being given bail. I also believe the fact that the offence is quite serious. That also could be why he wasn't given bail. And also because, he could be a flight risk. Now, he's quite a well-known person, so is he going to possibly get bail in the future? I don't know. Possibly not. I mean, you'd imagine that he's got the type of money, or knows people with the type of money, to get some good lawyers to argue his case for bail. But then, if he gets bail, I don't know how it would work with regards to a foreign national getting bail. You see, if he's the way I reckon the prosecution or the CPS or whoever is arguing for bail, the police, the way I see it is they're probably thinking he's been arrested for a serious offence. He's a foreign national. Maybe he's got prior history for convictions in the US. I don't know. He's a foreign national who's been accused of a serious offence. I don't think they're gonna risk the safety of UK citizens from a foreign national and give him bail. I'm leaning to, now his lawyers may be on it, he may get it, but I'm leaning towards him probably not getting bail, because he's a foreign national being accused of a serious offence. So I'm leaning towards him probably not being granted bail while his case is ongoing. Now, with regards to him being found guilty or not guilty, I can't tell you that. Maybe he pleads guilty. Maybe he doesn't plead guilty and gets whatever. I can't tell you. I don't know enough details about the case. If convicted, now I've heard this is a mandatory sentence of, I believe, 5 to 14 years in prison. And I know the UK does not look kindly on guns, and the gun laws in the UK are very strict compared to the United States. So if he gets convicted, there's so many possibilities to look into. His status as a celebrity, which possibly comes with the financial powers of hiring a competent lawyer to get a lighter sentence or a suspended sentence. I don't know if he gets found guilty and it's the 5 to 14 year stretch that he's looking at. I mean, it depends on so many things. As I said, the lawyers, his status, if the judge wants to throw the book at him. It just depends on so much. And the fact that I don't think the judge will look kindly on a foreign national bringing a gun into the country, or having a gun on him, because I don't know if he brought it into the country at this stage. It depends on whether the gun was legally purchased in the US as well. There's also the chance that he could be deported to the. He could be taken to a U.S. prison, so he could be transported from the UK to the US to serve his sentence in the United States. There's also that chance as well. Um, at this stage, there's just not. There's so many possibilities. I would imagine that he would. They would be looking at prison time to be served in the United Kingdom. Um, I would imagine that. Now, most people in the United Kingdom, if they get sentenced, convicted for a crime for the first time, they're only going to serve half their sentence, or they're not going to serve their whole sentence. I believe they serve half. But then, if he serves half, would he serve the other half on probation in the UK? Or would they cancel the probation and just deport him to back to the United States? Again, I don't know. I'd imagine that the UK are not gonna want this guy to be free on the streets of the United Kingdom. Like, period. I don't think they're gonna want him to be free in the United Kingdom. So that's why they denied him bail. And if he gets convicted, I don't think there's going to be any type of, community service or like suspend probation or like tag or anything like that. I don't think there's going to be any of that. I think it's going to be a simple case of they're going to want him to serve his time in custody and then be deported, or they're going to say, do you know what? He can serve that sentence in a United States prison, probably a federal one. That's probably what I'm leaning towards. I don't think he's going to walk, and I reckon if he gets found guilty, he will get a lifetime ban from the UK after his sentence is served. Which I don't think that's going to be like, because the United Kingdom is a big player in the world stage of boxing, admittedly, but it's not the biggest player. The biggest player in boxing, like hands down, is the United States. So he can have his career as a trainer in the United States. Now, the only problem is there are some top level boxers in the UK. Chris Eubank Jr. being one of them. So how would it work with him coaching UK fighters? They would have to go to him, so that is going to cause some inconvenience. But anyway, it's all ifs, buts, and maybes at this stage. But just some not going around in circles. Obviously, he's in custody right now. Now they usually in the UK they will remand someone if they remand someone in custody, it will be a local prison to the court. So I believe that Bomac was remanded at Manchester Crown Court, and I've heard that the local prison to there is Strangeways. I don't know if that's a Cat A or a Cat B. I think most people who go on remand before their trial or before they've been sentenced will go to a Category B prison. I haven't checked whether Strangeways is Cat A or Cat B. And for those from America, it's a bit like maximum, medium, minimum. Cat A is like maximum, then Cat B slightly less, Cat C slightly less than that, and Cat D is like open conditions where prisoners can have a job outside of the prison, and it's like almost like trying to reintroduce people back into society. So, but you won't go to a Cat D. So I reckon. So if he's gone to Strangeways and it's a Cat B prison, that's possible. But I've also heard he's gone to Birmingham. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, one thing that I should mention is that he's probably going to have been consulted by a US ambassador. So he's probably been given advice from a US representative in the UK. But anyway, and I don't, there's so much I don't know. But at this stage, there's a lot of unknowns. All I'll say is, if it's due to ignorance of the UK laws, that's pretty foolish, and possibly quite a costly mistake. Just in life in general and financially. So let's see how this unfolds. What do you make of what I talked about in this video? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video, and I'll see you on the next video.